Welcome to my presentation today for my math artifact for ALP SLD 3950. As you can see, I'm wearing a helmet from being in the military, and I have fought my way through this entire school year. That's what the helmet's for. That's why I'm doing it like this. I have fought my way through, I have fought through these kids, and I am ready to serve and show you this video. All right, so now that we've got that taken care of, General Malin's in the house. Here we go. So we were asked to do a project where we pick a student and we do a math project with them. And we're going to tell you about the student. We're going to tell you everything you need to know. Now, I know what you're thinking right away. Right away, you're thinking, but Mr. Will, why are you doing it on film? That's a great question, Will, and I'm going to answer that for you. The reason we're doing it on film is because I was reading this and it said the more creative we were, possibly the better points we were going to get. And I know for a fact, like I've said many times, my writing doesn't always keep up with my brain. I have ADHD brain. The slightest wind and I'm on like a totally different topic. So I wanted to make sure that you saw that I'm really taking this one seriously, but I want to have a little bit of fun with it too and show you that teaching can be a blast even when we're doing something as serious as math. That's wonderful. I am so excited to see this video, Will. And I'm excited to bring it to you. So we're going to start off with, I don't wear ties, we're going to start off with the student. Who I chose a wonderful student. This is one of my favorite people in the entire world. This kid, I wish I had a classroom full of them. So the student I chose, we're just going to call him DV. DV is a 6th grader. He is probably one of the sweetest, most charming, caring kids you'll ever meet in your entire life. The reason I chose this student is he does have a specific learning disability, but he also has a cochlear, kind of like a cochlear implant. And what that's called, actually, the technical name is a BAHA. And I'm sure since you've been doing SPED for a while, you know what a BAHA is. It's not one of those places where you go in and you say, I'd like a BAHA and fries, please. No, you're thinking of the wrong thing. All right, well, a BAHA is actually for an ear. And when he was born, he did have a little bit of facial deformity, which I got to be honest, with this kid, you'd never know with his attitude. You would never, ever know. This kid is just, we're going to get to that. So the BAHA, basically what it does is because the ear didn't form properly, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some pictures on this here beautiful green screen. Now, what it does is his ear was formed kind of like this. So the hearing canal didn't actually form properly. So on his right side, he has to wear the BAHA, which is kind of like a hearing aid, and it'll allow him to hear in class. It's really, really cool when he chooses to wear it. Hopefully you're going to watch this DV and you're going to start wearing it. Now, what this does is it kind of hooks around his head here, and then that hearing aid hooks back here. And what they did was they attached kind of like a speaker kind of like on the inside kind of issue where it kind of, the vibrations acts as like hearing, kind of like a small hearing aid, which I have, but sadly like DV, I'm not wearing mine today either. So Will, when you watch this, wear your hearing aid. All right, now, I know what you're thinking though. How does this work in class and with the masks? Well, to talk to you about that, we're going to bring this great guy I know on. His name's Dr. Will. Dr. Will, how does this work with the mask? Well, a lot of times with the masks, it doesn't work very well because what it does is it has to sit here and it pushes the masks down or it gets tangled up in them, which makes it difficult. That's why he doesn't wear it as much right now because of that. And it causes rubbing on the back with the mask, which can cause very much irritation. Thank you for that presentation. Appreciate it. So now the question becomes, how does the specific learning disability and the hearing impairment, how does that help stop him from learning in the classroom? Okay, so this is a really cool thing in a way. The specific learning disability, it does affect some of his, as far as like being able to understand everything that we're talking about, and it affects his focus as well in class. I mean, it's like we've talked about all year long with specific learning disabilities, it does affect students in different ways. What I'd really like to get into though is with this hearing that he has with math, the thing that really affects him is, as we know as teachers, we like to go to the side. when we're teaching. We like to teach like this. We like to teach like this. And a lot of times we'll be up at the board and we'll be teaching like this. Now, if he's wearing the cochlear that implant, the Baha, he's able to hear in any area that I go to. He's able to follow me, hear me, wherever I am in the classroom, moving, shaking, dancing. I do dance in the class sometimes. It is a lot of fun. I recommend it. It helps his kids stay focused. But when he's not wearing the Baha, that's where the problem comes in. Because if I'm standing here like this, he can't hear what I'm saying. He can see it, but as we know with the specific learning disability, seeing it, it doesn't always necessarily mean understanding it. You also have to be able to hear it and interact with it. And he's unable to do that if I'm this way. If I'm over here on this side where his bad ear is, the problem with that is, once again, I'm speaking to this side where he's having a problem hearing. That's not going to work for him because he is one of those students that not only needs visual but audio to learn something. If I'm on this side of the classroom, he'll be able to hear me better. The problem is, as a teacher, we move. And we move, and we have to move. I can't see what you wrote. Bam, I'm over here and I don't think twice about it. So that's how it affects him in the classroom. You can see though that once he is wearing it, there's no real effect at all. He's able to go ahead and follow with us. Student strengths. This kid has the biggest heart I've ever seen on anyone in my entire life. When they talk about the Grinch's heart grew 12 that day, this kid's heart theoretically should, when he beats it, we should all see it. That's how big of a heart this kid has. He doesn't see himself as having any issues whatsoever, whether that's hearing, learning disabilities, anything. A lot of students with learning disabilities, they bring themselves down with it. They think that they can't do it. I have never once heard this kid say that, ever, to anyone about anything. When we started working with some of the math that we've been doing lately with him, and we'll get into that, he literally told me, I don't know it, but by the time we're done, I'll have it. That's one of his strengths. He will not quit. He will not give up. He sees adversity, he sees a challenge literally that way. He runs through it. And he's one of the most amazing students that I have ever had the privilege and pleasure to work with. I would introduce you to him, but the deal we made for him for being on here, his parents said it was cool, but he only wants you to see his back. Apparently that's his best feature. That's what he told me. It's pretty big. Present levels. As of right now, the present levels of performance show that his math, he's made progress with it. He's definitely made progress with it. The goal for him is that he, in a one-on-one or small group setting, he will independently solve 7 to 10 one-step algebraic equations using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Try saying that 12 times fast. You cannot do it. I promise you. If you can, free soda. Now, within 3 out of 4 trials. What we've been working on right now is the addition and subtraction piece. The multiplication piece, he still is having a lot of problems figuring out that multiplication division piece. He understands that they're opposites, or as we say in the math world, inverse. But the addition and subtraction we're still having is what I want him to get. If you can add and you can subtract, you can multiply and you can divide. I feel like if I jump him forward, he's just not going to get it. We've tried that, and it's that piece just was never really put in. I'm not sure why it wasn't, but we're getting it now, and that's the important thing. So as you'll be able to see when we show you the graph, right now he is able to do, I would say, 3 to 4 problems by himself with it, as long as I'm there to help fill in the blanks. He's at, I would say, 50% as far as where he should be at. And at this point, for the entire year, he has consistently gone up from 3 to 4. The problem that we're having where we can't get past the 4th is the explanations. He understands it, he has a hard time explaining it. We do use manipulatives in the classroom when I work with him. He usually works in my classroom with me. What the manipulatives we use is base 10 blocks. That seems to be his preferred method. We've tried using like some Play-Doh, some shaving cream, which I know sounds like, kind of first, second grade, but sometimes, that does work. He seems to really, really like the blocks. And we can make pretty much the letter designs. We can make multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. We can pretty much do anything with those blocks. So if that's what he wants, that's what we're on board with. So I'm going to talk to you about his classroom. Now, the classroom environment is really, really important as far as we know for learning. You have some classes where you have children that sit there with their hands on their desk and they smile and they raise their hand and the teacher goes, I have such a wonderful class. And then there's reality, which there should be a big warning label coming up right now if you're a first year teacher. It's coming. So in his class right now, as far as how his class is set up, it is a typical 6th grade class. He's got 21 students in that class. Now, out of that 21 students, 11 girls and 10 boys. And let me tell you something, 6th grade, that's where they hit their stride. Oh yeah, parents are very happy to get rid of them. And they don't want them back. But we send them back every night. Now, with that, you have arguments. You have typical arguments. He touched me. He looked at me. She breathed the same air as me. I was going to say that. So you have those typical arguments. The problem is, with a student like DV, all of those things are distractions, and they keep his focus from where it should be. Now, the teachers do their best to kind of keep the kids focused in the classrooms. And God bless them, we have some great teachers here at Durrell. We really, really do. And they do their best to try to stay on that. However, with a student with a specific learning disability and with that hearing, especially with that hearing piece, I like to pull him out of the classroom and we work together as far as on his specific math goals. Because it's that one-on-one situation, it's calm, it's easy, he can hear me, and the teacher's not fighting for the volume, if that makes sense. So, the lesson plan I've chosen to do is one-step equations with addition and subtraction. So, for my objective, the lesson will be about learning, about solving to find what the variable is and to find a solution. X plus 5 equals 17. So, the lesson that I'm trying to work with him on is we have to figure out what X is so that we know if the problem is correct or not. Now, as we know, addition is the opposite of subtraction, or the inverse of subtraction. What that means is, if I add at one point, I can subtract at another point to find out if I have the right answer. So, what we're trying to get across to DV is, if I have X plus 5 equals 17, well, first thing we have to do is we have to get the 5 and we have to change it from addition to subtraction. Now, the only way to change it from addition to subtraction, here comes the fun part, is what we're going to do is we're going to take that 5 and we're going to move it over to the side of X, and we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract. So we're going to say 5 minus X. Now, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So by doing that, now what I can do is I can take, and I'm going to take that 5 and I'm going to take it on a road trip. Not a very scenic road trip. It's not like it's going to Hollywood or anything like that, which would be totally cool. I went to, sorry. Well, what I'm talking about, though, is we're going to take that 5, we're going to take it on a road trip, we're going to take it over here, and we're going to say 5 minus 17. Because whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. And then we can find out what the variable X stands for when we subtract the answer from the one only and only math fact that we have in the problem. So that's kind of where we're headed with that. So my goal is that the student will be able to solve problems by finding the variable and by using inverse operation and by telling me or showing me how he did it. That's my goal. It's not very exciting. It's not going to win an Academy Award, but I enjoy it. The next thing we have is the materials. We're going to need pencils. We're going to need pens. We're going to need a whiteboard. We're going to need our manipulatives. We're going to actually need a student. I'm good. I can't play both. I could actually if I wanted to. All right. The next thing is the anticipatory setup. How do I hook them? Well, what I like to do is I love showing this video. It's a Simpsons video. I had a professor one time that told me, anything you want to teach, the Simpsons have done it. So I will be showing you that video.
At 7:30 a.m., an express train traveling 60 miles an hour leaves Santa Fe bound for Phoenix, 520 miles away.
Shh! Visualize it, Bert.
At the same time, a local train traveling 30 miles an hour and carrying 40 passengers leaves Phoenix bound for Santa Fe. It's 8 cars long and always carries the same number of passengers in each car. An hour later, the number of passengers equal to half the number of minutes past the hour get off, but 3 times as many plus 6 get on. At the second stop, half the passengers plus 2 get off, but twice as many get on as got on at the first stop.
Ticket, please.
I don't have a ticket.
Come with me, boy. We got the stowaway, sir.
I'll pay. How much?
Twice the fare from Tucson to Flagstaff minus 2/3 of the fare from Albuquerque to El Paso.
I love showing that video because I want the students to see that this is kind of like how it is. It's not just that way for them, it's this way for us too. Plus, it's really funny when Bart falls out of his chair. All right. Background information and knowledge. So the students have a firm knowledge of the rules of addition and subtraction. Like we talked about before, he has a pretty firm knowledge. I'd like it to be a little bit better, but at this point, we're just going to roll with what he does have. And you'll notice he does still use his fingers a lot and everything else, and he does kind of try to hide it sometimes under the table. Typical student. I also want them to have a firm understanding that if you add, I can figure out if I'm correct and check it by subtracting. If I subtract, I can figure out if I'm right by adding, which I believe that we have got him down for. The UDL elements. So we can use print, digital, speech, text-to-speech, any of those things. So for instance, if I had a student that was blind, I could make the text bigger. If I have a student that's deaf or hard of hearing, kind of like what we have with DV, we can actually have the computer read it to him. And that way it would help him with it. It's kind of cool. Not the worst thing in the world, kind of cool. So for the CDL elements, we're talking about manipulatives. That would be the base 10 blocks for us. There's other types of manipulatives, but again, I really like working with the base 10 blocks with this student. He really seems to get it. So for my assessment, I'm going to use a diagnostic. We're going to use pre and post kind of assessment informal. And it's going to be informal. So basically what I want to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set him down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a problem on the board. And I'm going to say to him, DV, solve this problem. And I'm going to kind of take that step back. And I'm just going to ask questions. Well, what do you think here? What should this be? How should that work? And what you're going to see is he's going to try to work his way through it. Now, my goal is by the end of the lesson, I'm going to put another problem on the board, and he's going to explain it to me. He's going to teach me. And believe me when I tell you, it's harder than it looks. Miss Bonds, you know you are my teacher. It's hard to teach me. But I try hard. Okay, so I'll introduce it by asking the student what's the difference between addition and subtraction. And hopefully he'll be able to tell me. Then I'll say something like, how can we use both of these concepts to solve a math problem? And then we'll put like one of those problems on the board. So we could use, like I said, we could do like 3 plus 5 equals 7, and we can change out one of those for a letter. So we could say 3 plus x equals 7. And then I will say to him, find x. What is x? And hopefully he'll be able to show us. If not, that's where that other part of the lesson will come in. And by the time we're done, he'll be so perfect at this, he'll win a Nobel Prize, he'll end war, he'll end hunger, there'll be no more homeless people, all because he learned inverse. It's a hell of a dream, isn't it? All right, we're back. And this time we have more people. So DV is with us this time. And he has said that he'd love to be on camera and help us out, and so I can film the lesson. He just does not want to see anyone to see his face. which is totally cool that a lot of movie stars are like that. So, we are going to honor him by keeping him in his seat, but you will be able to hear him, and we will be able to go over the lesson with him. Do you want to say hey, DV?
Hello.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So today we're talking about one-step equations with addition and subtraction, right? Tell me what you know about addition and subtraction. How do they work together?
Get an equation on the board.
You want an equation on the board? I can definitely do an equation on the board. Okay, let's do an equation on the board.
I tried to do that.
So how would addition and subtraction, how can we use those together to solve for x? First of all, what do we know? What do you see, first of all?
First thing, 5 plus
Okay.
5 is plus 5.
So what do we notice first?
5,
And then, what else do we
Plus-
notice?
10.
Okay, and then what sign do we notice?
X.
Is it, no, what's the operation?
Addition.
Addition, okay. What don't we know?
X.
Okay,
But I know what X might be.
okay, so first of all, what do we have to do?
First thing is work backwards.
Work backwards, explain.
Like,
You got this.
like,
Focus on nothing but this. What are you thinking?
try to like break it, we break it down. Like, you built it up, you could break it back down.
Explain, break it down. How do I do it?
Like,
Walk me through.
Like,
Tell me my step. What do I do now? Okay, so I'm gonna put 10. Where do you want me to put 10?
Anyway.
Anywhere. All right, I'm gonna put 10 here.
Then, we do, there's 2 ways to do this.
Okay,
Let's do both.
let's give it a shot. I'm all for
So
it.
first thing, let's do the number tree.
The number tree.
We'll basically do all, like, what it's made of and what those.
Okay, so let's put 10 here.
Then up top,
Okay, so what is 10 made of?
5 and 5.
5 and 5. Okay, so there's 1. What else do we do? Now remember, we want to figure out what this is using addition and subtraction. So how would we do that?
We could do that,
Uh-huh.
or we could do 5 plus 5 equals 10,
We could say 5 plus 5 does equal 10.
and we could do the opposite. 5 subtracted by 5 is 5.
So you're saying 5 minus 5 equals 5.
Yeah,
Okay, can I jump in with another way?
yeah,
Okay, so can I erase the 10 real quick?
yes.
You don't need you. All right, what we do know, you're right. We know we have a 5, we know we have a 10, right? We also know that we are adding, which is part of the lesson, which is addition, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but we also want to be able to use subtraction. Now here's what we know about subtraction and addition. They're opposites. Do you agree?
Yes.
So if I add something, I'm going to get one number, and if I subtract it, I'm going to get something different. Do you agree?
Yes.
So example here would be 5 plus 4 equals what?
Equals 8.
Try again. You got this.
9.
Beautiful. You're the man. But even though we added here, could I also do this, my friend?
Yes.
So you can see how they are opposite. The other word for this is the inverse. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, my friend. What I want to know is this right here. I want to know what x is. Now, there's a cool way we can do this. So what we're going to do is, we know that we said 5 plus x equals 10. Well, what's x? Oh my God, we got to find out x. If we don't find out x, the world will end. It will end on the stroke of midnight. And it's already, it's only 4:30. We got time. So, here's what we're going to do, okay? If I did add, now I want to subtract. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to say here is, I'm going to come over here and say 5 minus x. I'm going to take this 5, and I'm going to just take it over here for a car ride. And it's going to go right next to that x, and 5 minus x. What we know is, it's 5, right? Because we can say like x is 1. So whatever I do here, I got to do here. Do you agree?
Yes.
So over here, I subtracted 5. So over here, I'm going to subtract 5. What is 10 minus 5?
10 minus 5 is 5.
Is 5. So what does x equal?
Equal, yeah, like I said from the beginning, it's 5.
Exactly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do another problem, okay? And we're going to pull out some manipulatives to help us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can I keep this part and erase this part?
You keep that part, but don't erase.
Do you want the example? Or we'll walk it through together. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So,
I was talking about the equation.
we'll walk it through together on the next one. Math manipulatives brought to you by Darrell of Colorado. Darrell, for all your math manipulative needs. All right. So, do you agree that these are base 10 blocks? Do you agree?
No, base 1.
Just breathe it out. Just breathe it out, Will. All right.
These are
right,
base
now.
1 blocks.
Here's what I want to do. Let's say we have 4 plus x equals, let's pick a number, let's make it a big number. Let's say 20.
How would that even work?
I'm glad you asked that. So the first thing I want you to do is right here, I want you to get me 4. Okay? Okay, now with our math manipulatives, and we can do this with these because, I mean, we've seen it done. What we're going to do is we're going to make the addition symbol. Okay, and I'll do that, and I want you to make an X right here. Okay?
Okay. I feel like you got the easier part.
Well, I'm the teacher. I'm supposed to have the easier part.
No!
Hey, who's running this show, me or you, man?
Me.
Oh, okay, well, I wasn't sure. All right, make an X right there. Okay?
Okay.
So now we have 4x. So bring your X right here.
I'm working on it.
Okay. So we have 4 plus x. Now what I want you to do is give me 20 of these.
Okay.
Okay? And we have the bag if you need it, okay?
I'm ready to wait.
Okay. So it's another way to look at this, okay? So go ahead and make your 20. Oh no, this is something different. Go ahead and make your 20. Okay?
This is 20.
Are you sure? Count it out. Make sure we have 20. Okay, when you get 20, put them here, okay?
Okay.
So, this is what I want you to think about while you're doing that. We know the answer, right? It's what? 20.
It is 20. And
We know the operation. What is my operation?
it is 4.
No,
plus X.
what am I doing?
Adding.
Adding. So we got the operation of adding. Cool?
Cool.
Okay, where are we at here?
Got 20. I counted them out myself. About 5.
By 5s?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's 2, 4, 5. There's 2, 4, 5. That's 10. There's 2, 4, 5. That's 15. We need 5 more. 5 more, big man. You got this. Okay, now, what don't I know?
You do not know X.
So I don't know x. So x is my question. X is my question. Okay? We don't like questions in math. We want questions.
Math
We want it to be easy. We want it to tell us the answer. Now I know that something plus 4 gave me this 20. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, if I'm adding here, what is another way to find the answer to this? Now remember what we're looking for. We're looking for that subtraction. So what do?
We are looking
Walk me through this problem. You can do this.
4 subtracted by
What's another word for subtracted?
multiply.
Minus.
Minus.
Minus. Beautiful. What am I minusing?
Your minus.
I can't just take the 4 over here, can I? What do I have to do first?
You first have to minus the X.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take these 4, and I want you to put them right here, and I want you to put a subtraction sign. So it's going to look something like this.
What is it?
Well, we just want the 4. We don't want any more than 4. So just the 4. So, okay. Now, what do I know about this? I'm going to take this for a car ride, and I'm going to take it here, and I'm going to bring it down here. So x minus 4 is what?
X minus 4.
If we don't know what a variable is, what do we assign it? We assign it the number
4.
We can do that. Okay. So, whatever I do to this side, what do I have to do?
To this side.
So now I'm going to get in my truck, and I'm going to drive over here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this down here. And I'm going to say 20 minus what?
20.
20 minus
4. X.
4. Now that x is gone, right?
Nope.
Now take a look at our manipulatives. You have 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to take away 4 from that 20. Here's our pile of 20. Can you take 4 away from that? And tell me what you get.
I get 15.
Okay, now we're going to do it up here. 0 minus 4, what is it? Can I do it?
You can.
Take 4. Take 4.
Take 4.
Nope, take 4 from this.
Yeet.
Take 4. Can I?
No.
No, so I have to do what?
You have to go over
To the what?
to 20.
To the 2, right? And what am I going to take from the 2?
The
How many?
10.
How many?
5. 10. 1.
That's going to leave this as a 1, and then I'm going to cross this out, and this is going to leave this as a 10. Are you with me?
Yes.
10 minus 6, sir. Use your manipulative. If you get the answer wrong, you walk the plank.
Oh, I'll let you about that.
And it's dangerous out there. We filled our tank with pigeons with laser beams. So what is 10 minus 4? You got this. You got this. You know this. I know you know this.
I kind of want to see what I do.
No. First, let's do it right.
6.
Bam, baby. 1 minus 0.
1 minus 0 is 0.
Ah, try again.
Minus 0 is 1.
What does x equal?
X equals 1. 16.
So x equals 16. Do you feel like you want to try one on your own? Where
Yeah.
you could teach me?
Yeah.
All right.
But look what I made.
Manipulatives are not for smiley faces. We're here to work, sir.
Hey, we all need to feel alive, especially at this time.
That's why I'm making the board pretty.
All
All right. Let's do 6 plus, let's try something different. Let's call it D. 6 plus D
That
equals what?
equals
Give me a number.
more.
Just give me any number you want. Make it reasonable. Because you're going to have to show the work.
16.
16, I love it.
But I saw like in the 3 dimension there. I literally did.
Okay. Talk to me through it. What do I do?
First thing,
David, I don't know. DV, I don't know how to do this. What do I do? What do I do?
just let me speak all describe the
All right.
face.
Walk with me. Talk with me.
The physics plus, so the D is 10. You know how I know that?
Steps. Go through the steps.
First thing,
First thing, what do you notice right away?
that they both have 6. And they're the only 2.
Okay.
And
They're the only 2 what?
with the actual numbers, no.
Oh, perfect. All right, so I'm going to pull this 6 down here, and I'm going to put this 16 down here because we notice these are the only 2 that have numbers. Beautiful.
And then we
Next.
bring down the adding.
So that's the operation, or is that just for show?
That is for the operation.
That is for the operation. So I'm going to put that down here just so I know that that's what we're doing. What do I know?
Then bring down the D.
Okay, what can you tell me about D?
D right now is 10.
Steps. What do I know right now? I'm new at this. I've never done this before. What do I know about D? Do I know anything about D?
No, you don't.
So,
It's an unknown value.
dude, I love the way you said that. Unknown value. So D is unknown.
So we don't know what it is. It could be 15 to 16.
It could be any number. I love it. It could be 15. It could be 16. We don't know. All right. How do I know? What do I do, my friend?
Then we add the 6. We subtract.
Why am I subtracting, though? I mean, I don't understand. Explain to me. Why would I subtract that?
You don't want to get on my bad side.
Besides not wanting to get on your bad side, why would I subtract this, though? Think about it. What did we learn earlier? If we do one thing, to change it, we have to do the
Other thing.
other thing. And what did we start doing?
We started adding.
So-
we have to add. We have to subtract.
Because that will give us the...
Answer.
So what do I do?
You subtract D from 16.
From 16 or from 6?
Or 16. 6.
Okay. What do I do? If I do one thing to one side, what do I have to do next?
You have to do this other thing to the... You have to do the same thing to the other side.
So am I going to take D over or 6 over?
First thing, we'll have to...
You got this.
Stop putting it on your hand.
Come on.
Since we don't know what B is, we have to do it like how my grandparents did it and just merge them together.
Okay. Now what?
Then we bring the 6D over to 16.
I love it. So I'm still subtracting? Right?
No. Yes.
Okay. All right, my friend. 16. 6 minus 6.
6 minus 6 is 0.
1 minus 0.
1.
What does that mean, D?
10.
What does that tell me?
10.
D equals...
10.
And the truth shall set you free! All right, DV, do you understand what we're doing?
Yes.
Could you explain this to anyone?
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable doing a worksheet that has 3 or 4 of these on there?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, my brother.
Yes.
Hi, we're back. As you can see, I've changed. All right, but I'm still the same person. I just changed my outfit. It's a different day. Just want to clear that up. Okay, so as you can see from what we did with David, his math skills were not as strong as we were hoping for. Basically, we're not working on his addition subtraction at this time because of the grade he's in. We want to kind of keep him up where we can as far as staying with the class, staying with that grade level. You could tell by what we did, kind of my reflection is I would have loved to have had more time to really work on his addition, subtraction, and kind of the way he explains himself. He's really, really smart. The problem is he gets lost in his own explanations, and he gets overly excited sometimes with some of the stuff that we do. So basically, the reflection here is I would have loved to have taken more time, maybe like a half hour on that lesson or longer, to kind of explain a little bit more of what we were doing and how we were doing it. I did show him the Simpsons clip, which we're going to put in here. We're going to add all that stuff, but and we probably already did, so I'm rambling. But we didn't film that part. Basically, I'm kind of glad we didn't. He fell out of his chair when he was laughing, so that's probably not what I was going for. I feel like going forward, because I won't be here next year as the SPED teacher, what I'd like to leave for the SPED teacher coming in, especially for David, is to continue to move forward grade level wise, but continue to work on those addition, subtractions, symbols, continue to work on why we do what we do. Otherwise, I think that's kind of my reflection. For my deeper thought, I would say, as a teacher, I want to know how, for me, how could I manipulate all of that into one lesson and continually do it day after day with him, or find time to work with him on a daily basis, which I think would fix it. Honestly, truthfully, I feel like I let David down this year. Is my big reflection, because I feel like I could have done more with him and I could have helped him more, and I do feel like I let him down, which really bothers me a lot. I won't now, but truthfully, I'll probably cry about this this tonight when I really think about how I could have supported him better as a teacher and as a sped teacher. I think I wish that I could have done more in his classroom, pulled him out more. I wish that I could have brought him to where he needs to be. And that's like a personal letdown for me. And personally, I completely feel like I didn't honor what my job was for him, and I could have done better. That's pretty much my reflection. I hope that's deep enough. I know you said you wanted me to go deeper, so cool.